What is your stance on the homeless problem? This is from Paula. I can't say your last name, but Paula, we love you and we appreciate your question. And I'm not going to butcher your last name. So, Mr. Culp, what is your stance on the homeless problem?
Okay, thanks for the question, Paula. My take on the homeless problem, if you look back at my announcement speech 1 year ago, I did it in the City Park of Republic to about 120 people. And I talked about this issue. This is the first issue that I talked about. It used to be all over the news. Now, it's not so much. But the problem hasn't got any better. It's gotten worse. And my take on it is that it's not all about homes, right? It's an addiction and a mental health crisis. And I've dealt with this. I was a narcotics detective for about 3 years. I've dealt with people on the street, both in mental health problems and in addiction problems. And with the lax enforcement of the narcotics laws in this state in places that are run by Democrats, Democrat-run cities and counties, you can go to places like King County right now. You can have 7 or 8 grams of heroin on you, and the police will not arrest you because the prosecutors will not prosecute. They say that it's not compassionate to put an addict in jail. So when you have a situation like that, that attracts people from all over the country to come to places that allow that, where they want to continue using their heroin and not get hassled by the police, not have the risk of going to jail. And so that's why there's this huge influx of people from all across the country that move to places like that, and they set up camp. Crime goes up, rapes, burglaries, thefts, assaults, it all follows it. So where I worked when I was a narcotics detective here in Republic and Ferry County, where I did some cases, worked for the North Central Washington Narcotics Task Force, that we had a zero tolerance policy. If you had residue of heroin in a baggie, you got arrested, you went to jail, you saw the judge, and the judge would give you a choice. You can go to prison or you can go to treatment. And we've had so many people that chose treatment. Obviously, who wants to go to prison? But they get their head clear, they get off the drugs, they get out and start getting their life together. And they've come back and given me a hug and thanked me for saving their life because they couldn't quit on their own. You don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm not going to do heroin anymore. It doesn't work like that. It's a very strong narcotic. So I had people thanking me for saving their life, and not just a couple people, but a lot of people. They come back, they get their kids back, they get a job, and lead a productive life. And that's what it takes. It takes that tough love. It takes that boot in the butt to get that problem taken care of. When you enable bad behavior, when you say it's okay to do things that are it's bad, something like heroin, you not only attract people from all over the country that use heroin and meth, but you attract the dealers as well, and that brings a cartel with it. That brings crime. So if you can have 7 or 8 grams of heroin on you in Seattle, well, guess what? The dealers, although they're criminals, they're not stupid. So they'll walk around with 7 or 8 grams of heroin on them and deal that poison out to the people around that use it, and then go back and get 7 or 8 grams again and go out and deal that again. And they don't have to worry about being hassled by the police. So that's the big draw for people coming here that want to use drugs because of our lax narcotics policies. So that's not helping anyone. That's just enabling. So the other part of that is, my Republican competitor, Jay Inslee, had agreed that we needed to spend millions and millions of taxpayer dollars and build homes for all these people living on the street. Well, if we built a home for everyone living on the street and tomorrow we wake up and there's nobody else that doesn't have a home, that's going to do several things. People are going to be dying in those homes from overdoses. They're going to turn into the next slums. And that, in turn, same with the drug policies, is going to attract people from all over the country who are going to come to Washington State with their hand up and say, hey, I don't have a home. Build me one too. It will be a perpetual building program that will cost taxpayers billions of dollars. We need to focus on the core issue, not just throw Band-Aids on broken legs, right? We need to not treat the symptoms. We need to treat the disease itself. So that's my take on this homeless crisis.